Hey guys, welcome to my Let's Make series. Today I want to try a different format, so hopefully this works out well. I want to share my personal favorite way of making iced coffee with flash chilled method. Some also call this a Japanese iced coffee. The reason why I like it more than other methods is because it preserves more of the origin quality of coffee, especially when compared to something like a cold brew, which means a lot of those qualities in exchange for a really smooth beverage. Not saying cold brew is not good, but I do believe that if you're paying for specialty coffee, you will taste more of what you pay for with this method. And also, as a side note, this is my personal formula. Some of you guys might like it a little bit stronger, or if you like it a little bit lighter, you can always modify accordingly. But after a month or so of making it with this particular ratio, I find that I do like this one a lot. Okay, so things that we need for this is very simple. You always start off with a nice bag of coffee. Today we'll be using counterculture Ethiopian single origin. And of course, you do need a coffee brewer for this. I use the XICups Wave. It's a very nice day-to-day pour-over brewer. And of course, with anything coffee related, I do recommend that you get a scale. I'm using just an Amazon basic normal scale. Any scale really will do. This is just to make sure that you are using the correct dosage of coffee. And of course, we do need a pour over carafe. This is the Kalita 0.7 liter. I like this little guy. Generally speaking, we don't make too big of a portion, so the 0.7 liter works fine. You also need a grinder. I'm using the Hario ceramic hand grinder. I like this little guy too. Lastly, of course, I do need something to stir my coffee with. I'm just using a normal chopstick. And also this is for iced coffee, and we do need ice. Trust me, I do have ice sitting in the fridge. Okay, the first thing we're gonna do is measure out 40 grams of coffee, and I pre-measure this, so I normally just pour directly into the grinder to save some time. So what you want to make sure is that your coarseness of your grind to something like full salt. If you're using the Hario grinder, there's a very easy way to do this. On its tightest setting, you simply turn towards coarse 6 to 7 clicks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and maybe 7. Then you're just going to start grinding coffee. And during this process, you're probably going to stop and ask yourself, why didn't you just get an electric grinder, because it's much easier and your arm's killing you. But then again, you remind yourself that you're just a home barista and you simply don't have the extra cash, and you suck it up and just keep going. Next, what we're gonna do is go ahead and fill this up with water and then put it over the stove and bring it to a boil. While you wait, it's always a good idea to go ahead and pre-wet your filters just to get rid of that paper taste. Next, we are going to bring our scale back in, and we are going to measure out about 250 grams of ice. As promised, I have my ice here, so we're just gonna go ahead and measure out 250 grams. And just about there. Let's find a small piece. There you go, perfect. Okay, so now the water has just came off boil. I always like to let it sit on the counter for another 30 seconds or so. I'll bring the temperature back down. So while we do that, I'm just going to take out my coffee that we grounded before. Because a lot of the hand grinders does produce a little bit of static, so you just want to make sure you try to knock out as much of it as possible so we get the same dose that we put in. Now we want to go ahead and bloom the coffee. So you just want to pour in some water, and what we're doing in the blooming process, as some of you might already know, is to get the oxygen out of the coffee. You're gonna see that it's gonna start to bubble. I like to just have it sit there for about 30 to 45 seconds to make sure that it finished blooming. Normally speaking, I will ask my Google Assistant to do this, but I am not going to say it and piss off everybody. Okay, so now that it's done blooming, just want to pour in the rest of the water slowly. And you want to cover from the outer edge and just slowly start to move towards the middle. I like to give it a little bit of a kind of up and down motion while I'm going in. So I just want to make sure you be patient with this and also follow the same direction. Basically, if you're going counterclockwise like I'm doing, don't all of a sudden decide to up and start going clockwise. Of course, when the water is full like this, you just want to give it a wait. Now what I like to do is, while I wait for this, I like to just take out my chopsticks and slowly stir the coffee a little bit. This is going to help us get that nice flat coffee ground at the end of the brew. Hopefully it works out today. Without getting too nerdy about this, brewing hot brings out the most flavor from the coffee, while having it chilled directly over ice adds some smoothness to the brew. Hope you enjoyed this method as much as I do. If you found this episode to be helpful, please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and enable the bell icon. Of course, as always, leave questions in the comment section below, and I'll talk to you guys in the next episode. See ya!